Most architects think there are only two ways to make money. You either work in an office or you start your own studio. Both paths are extremely demanding and both have very clear limits. In this video, I want to share a third path. Not a hustle, not a dream, but a different way of thinking about your architectural skills. So let's look at the office architect. In the beginning, you have a big payment gap. Your yearly salary starts around 30 to 50k, depending on your location. And compared to other jobs in engineering, it's not only half of the salary that you can expect, but even less in a lot of countries. Then you have a lot of unpaid overtime. You have to learn a completely new office skill set. You just graduated, you learned how to design, how to present, how to visualize or 3D model, which are all useful skills. But in order to succeed in the beginning, you have to get good in software like Excel, you have to be good in communication and time management skills, and even management software. And then there are limited career paths, which means in order to get a nice promotion, most of the time you have to work around 5 to 10 years to become a project lead, and then another 10 to 20 years to get the chance to become a partner. On the other hand, you can become a self-employed architect, which means big funding pressure in the beginning. You have a really difficult acquisition process because you have to compete in open competitions without any references with big companies like Chipperfield. Then you can't afford to hire talented people because you obviously don't have the money for it. So you are becoming a manager instead of an architect. But what I want to show here is that the problem is not architecture. The problem is how architectural skills get monetized. So let's take a step back and look at the skills you learned already in university. Here you can see a list of all the skills you already applied in university. The problem is that most architects see them as tools to get projects. What if these skills are assets instead? So the three big buckets are 3D art, interior, and media. And I'm going to share 3 case studies where people manage to make up to 500k per month. So the first case study shows a boutique design brand which is selling physical products. In this case, it's Mana Fabric. So what you can see here is a boutique design brand selling physical projects. In this case, they are 3D printed lamps, which is also a skill that many people learn during university or even in the office. What you can see here is someone who took his 3D printing skills, built an online shop, got a community on Instagram and Telegram, and is supporting it through nice visuals, which are photos and videos of the lamps in action, where he's showing how the lamp will look in real life, and he's selling the lamps for around $50. So in his shop he's not only selling the physical models but also digital products, which are 3D models for the lamps, which are made out of wood, plastic and other materials, so people can make it themselves. This kind of shop he's making around 5 to 10k in monthly recurring revenue. So if he's selling 100 lamps per month, he already makes 5k. So let's have a look in the 3D art bucket. Here we have Forever Stu. I'm a big fan of her. You can find her on Instagram. She's doing 3D online realism in visual education. You can find her on Instagram. She also has a Patreon where she's teaching people how to become good in 3ds Max and Corona. So there's a specific workflow that she specializes in. She already has a big following on Instagram with around 170k followers, and she's using her Instagram community to get memberships on her Patreon or to sell digital collections and assets through her Patreon shop. I am personally a big fan and a member on Patreon, and I've been in her Patreon from day one, and I'm completely in love with how she's curating her Patreon and also all the products she's selling. So what she's doing is uploading a monthly plan where she's telling what people can expect in this month. There are usually some kind of 3D scenes, some kind of videos where she's teaching how to light correctly, how to build correctly. So what you can see here is that she has 3 different membership options, which is the VIP option, which I personally have, which is 10 euros per month. So it's around $12 to $13. Then she has just a support membership. You can see the different products that she's selling. So she has her membership, she has single products which are open for everybody, so you can buy them even if you're not a Patreon member, which is really nice and comes handy if you need a special scene or special material. And if you are a member of her Patreon, you'll get a scene breakdown, so you'll get a 3D scene, you get a video, you get the renderings, which is really nice, and you can learn a lot from it. Based on public data, she's making around 30 to 60k in monthly recurring revenue. She has already 6,500 members on her Patreon, and this is only the money she's making with her Patreon. She's obviously also doing brand deals and other types of sponsorships with her Instagram. Alright, so let's talk about the third bucket. In this case, we have the local project. You can find them on Instagram. It's basically an architectural media company which is selling attention, curation, and taste. I listened to this guy's story, and it's incredible. He started studying architecture in Australia and realized that he doesn't want to become an architect, and then he just started making videos on YouTube, and he has grown incredibly fast over the last 3 years. On Instagram he has already 1.7 million followers. On his YouTube he's also around 1.4 million in following. You've probably heard of the local project, or you've seen his videos on YouTube. They've grown to a big team, and it's just an incredible success story. They're making beautiful videos from mostly residential buildings, which have been built by the biggest designers in Australia and New Zealand. And what he's doing is making sponsorship and brand deals for designers. So he's showcasing the architect, the interior designer, the product designer in his videos, and they are telling the story about the artwork or the building, which is just incredible and nice to look at. Then he has his website, which is not only a web shop but also a beautiful curation of his videos, and he's selling a print version. What he's doing here is he's using the attention from his YouTube videos and curating a print magazine for each project and selling it 3 times a year. So you can have a membership, or you can buy each magazine on your own. And what I also realized, he's also selling big books where you can see all the local projects that he has filmed with beautiful images, stories, and interviews from the design. Let's have a look of how he's curating his video. You can see he's starting out with nice cinematic drone shots where he's getting the viewer's attention, showing the context, showing the location, and presenting the idea. Cinematographic teams for his projects. What I have heard is that he started out in the beginning with just himself, and a team that he was hiring for this first project. What he has done here is turning his media company also into an advertising agency for local designers, architects, and artists, which is just an incredible full circle. So what I found out through Google Analytics is that his estimated revenue in 2025 is around 13.8 million, which is just incredible. But he has also a big team which is taking a big cut from his yearly salary, and he's making 70% from brand deals and 30% in print sales. So if you break it down, he's making between 500k to 1 million in monthly recurring revenue, which is just incredible. So let's have a look. What is the underlying pattern of all these three business ideas? They turned their skill into a system. It can be an online shop, it can be a physical product, or it can be attention. They decoupled their architectural thinking from buildings into their skills, and they built valuable assets through system-based shops. So either they chose Patreon memberships, they built an online shop, or they even started printing analog magazines, and they scaled it by hiring more talented people, by getting better equipment, building more software tools. So in the end, I just wanted to say, this video is not about quitting your job, and it's not about making fast money. It's about seeing your skills differently. Or if you're an architect stuck between office life and independence, this channel is for you.